3, 2, 1. Close enough. I don't care. Hi, welcome everyone. We are to die for. We are absolutely insane, chaotic, and at least halfway sleep deprived. Just a little bit.
We're adults. We don't need sleep to function. We're adults.
But thank you once again for joining in. My name is Aaron. I'm going to be DMing these bunch of mad lunatics that I fit in perfectly with. Let's be real. So we'll do our quick introductions as always, starting with my left.
I'm Eric. I'm playing Boz, the elf druid.
I am Alyssa. I am playing Ayala, the high elf warlock.
Hi, my name is Michaela. I will be playing Helene the Halfling. I am a rogue.
Hello, my name is Jaden, and I'm going to be playing Azure, the barbarian boy oh boy.
And together we are to die for, or not, who knows.
Hopefully not.
Find out this episode.
To die for or already dead, to be determined.
I mean,
All right.
we're going to live forever.
So, last time, the party awoke in a little hutch hovel, little alcove that they had discovered in the forest while Helene had stayed out through the night.
I went hunting once.
Yes, hunting. She found some rabbits. She smoked.
Poor baby.
Smoked a rabbit out and killed it with a well-placed throw of a dagger. Some emotional mending was done a bit in the early morning, and then a rude awakening was had by Azure.
Yeah, I was getting choked in the best way possible.
It's okay. I gave you a hand in waking up.
Yes, Mans was very handsy with him. But with Helene returning, the party ventured out, getting to know one another along the way, stopping around midday, realizing that the water supply was also pretty low. So Ayala sent Mans out in search of any type of running water, something that they could stock up on.
High quality H2O.
Mans came back after a short while and hurled a chunk of mud at, I think it was Helene.
It might have been me. It might have been you.
No,
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It was, what's his name?
Was it Phileas?
Phileas.
Yeah.
It was Phileas.
I think it just went.
After which Helene agreed to follow Mans to be able to collect the water, since Mans, being just a decapitated hand, wasn't really able to carry too much more than just a little clump of mud.
Disembodied.
Disembodied. There we go. So,
Like the voice.
following Mans up the kind of a hillside and crawled into a little tunnel that led underneath a hill. Just a little ways in, you found this weird humanoid with a big red cap.
I thought we could be friends.
You did think that.
It didn't work
And
out.
you were
well.
There
wrong.
was a pool of water there too. It did not go well though. And ultimately, a battle ensued where you were left oddly charmed by his odd demeanor that you absolutely despised but just couldn't help most of the time. Mans got obliterated and
He got man's.
I was
slaughtered.
traumatized.
he got manslaughtered. At which point,
He got manhandled.
Ayala, you realize that, hey, something feels off. You pulled him back and you indicated, hey, stuff's going down. Unfortunately, why can't I think of its name?
Nilbog?
Yes, the Nilbog.
No.
The Nilbog was more than a match for Helene just due to some innate magical abilities that prevented it from either being hit or from dying.
Fine, otherwise.
As it mocked Helene viciously over and over and over again. But eventually help arrived. You were able to help Helene kill the red-capped creature. You took its scepter as well, which at this point just is a piece of wood from everything that you guys are able to tell from it. And after then some time of Helene patching up some of her wounds, you collected some water that was still dripping down. So not the pool that had gotten mixed up with a lot of blood and mud.
The polluted water.
Yes, the polluted water. And with that, with Ayala carrying Helene, you guys headed back on your way. as Helene has to now go check on some rogue little fairies running around.
I love the fairies. Are you done?
But we'll go ahead and continue to get started. But that is where we left off, with the party continuing to adventure down the road to Elhaz Fe. So we are going to say that for the rest of the day, you guys do not run into anything. The rest of your day's travel goes well. People are pretty tired. Helene especially is exhausted and in a rough state.
Azure's sad.
This pretty girl was
He didn't get the
carrying me.
punch. He didn't get to punch anyone. He's sad.
You couldn't fit in the hole.
Exactly. He's
Shut
too
up.
big.
Abuse. Warlock abuse.
That's for the patron.
So, as the sun begins to set, as you guys continue your journey on to Elhaz Fe, Phileas goes and kind of suggested first, with some of you maybe still a little bit in the days and feeling the exhaustion of the journey starting to pile on a little bit, calls out, so I don't think it would be good for you to go out, Helene, so I'll volunteer to try to get some firewood or at least something flammable.
I don't really feel up to going anywhere right now. I kind of just want to lay down.
Yeah, you still kind of have this like giant. Ooh, that's spreading a lot.
You should let me heal you.
I agree.
That might not be a bad idea. What are we gonna do if you have no more spells, though? We have a long ways to go still. Phileas, how many more days do you think we have?
Well, I mean, it's just my best guess. I want to say probably about 3 more days on the road at our current pace.
Yeah, I think I'm going to heal you, because that will not heal on its own.
No.
Phileas, I will go with you because I don't think that we should separate ourselves very much.
That is a point I did not think of. I will gladly take your assistance as well as
Let me give you
Mans.
a hand.
So
Yes, he will be coming with
they,
us.
he.
He. It is a he.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I know that.
How does it have a gender?
I don't want to know that. Don't want to know that. Don't want to know that. And he just starts walking off towards the forest. Well, not directly into the forest at this point. As you guys have continued on, the path that you followed has veered much more closer to the mountains, and the forest line's a few hundred yards away at this point. So, with Phileas and Ayala searching for some firewood, go ahead and make a make a survival check.
Okay. That would be a 4.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're gonna cut back to the other 3 of you as you're setting up camp. Is there anything?
I did use the Cure Wounds on Helene,
Ooh.
and you get 18 hit points back.
Ooh. That feels so much better. Like, a lot better.
Yeah, it was my last level 2 spell slot.
Thank you so
last
much.
spell slot, period.
8.
So now we have to depend on them finding food.
8 plus 18 is 26. Let me ask a teacher. 8
Yes.
plus 18 is 26, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I can't do brain cells right now.
Yes.
Cool. I am full health now. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Excellent.
it.
And I am not a teacher anymore.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Once a teacher, always a teacher.
God, I know.
What's a teacher?
So, unfortunately, Phileas rolled worse than you.
Oh.
How can I roll for Mans? Because I mean, he was there too.
I will
Mans
allow
finds a
it.
couple twigs.
You should have a stat block.
He does. Mans and I both got a 4. Together we got an 8.
Amazing.
Still better than Phileas's natural 1.
Oh no.
So, as Boz, Helene, and Azure, you guys are kind of setting up the remnants of the camp, just laying out some of your gear going around. After about 20 minutes, you see as Phileas, Ayala, and Mans come back, and, well, at least for Phileas and Ayala, totally empty-handed. Mans,
Did you?
Empty hands did.
So all we could find is just some like normal grass. And by the time we realized it's dark, and I think we just collectively decided not to wander into the woods at night a few hundred yards from where we're at. So
Absolutely.
sorry, guys.
There was nothing. I mean, you could lick a rock if you absolutely want to, but
Is that how Mans actually like identifies things, or
by licking things.
does he have a tongue?
He does not have a tongue.
How does he eat?
That's a good question. You should ask him.
Man, you just see him like he starts to instinctually actually go to ask. He's like,
Yes, you're
I
talking to a
don't-
hand.
how do I?
Just ask him. He can comprehend you.
But how do I comprehend him?
I comprehend him.
Mans,
does-
how do you
He
eat?
doesn't need to eat.
I
As
have,
long as he stays nourished and moisturized, he should be okay.
moisturize me.
So, is that why? Like, what does he take like a mud bath then?
Something like that.
Okay, I mean, he did find mud earlier, so I guess that does.
He did. He also found. Never mind. I'm not
Is-
gonna go there.
Is there grasses and stuff around the campsite?
Yeah, there's grass. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go show you guys a trick I learned, living in a cave for 200 years. And then Boz turns into a cow and starts grazing.
Hey, look, guys! I found us some steak.
Can we eat it?
Man's,
I know it's Boz,
man's
and I know
attack.
like
Well,
She's like, no,
wait.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Stop.
The cow
you're holding
glared.
it by the edge. And, man,
The cow
I'm holding him
glared
by
at
that
the
like one little piece of
hand.
bone that's like sticking out. Like, nah. She's like, we can't kill the cow, but though I wouldn't mind. But no, we're okay.
From my own recollection,
Move.
from my own recollection, if we were to take anything that would potentially kill it, he'll just turn back to human form.
Well, we don't have to kill him. We could just carve little pieces of him off.
That's what I was thinking. Just chop off a leg and there you go.
so, Mr. Cow, like, can we do this?
Moo.
Just see this big cow head just shake side to side.
I mean, he's saying no, but I'm sure your stomach is saying yes.
I don't know what you learned as an elf, but my dad told me that no means no.
She's like, it's cute that you think that. I assure you, not everybody does.
If they don't listen to your no, you stab them in the throat.
I was gonna say we can someday introduce the little lady to one of those places, but I think she's already experienced worse than that, so.
Right. I keep forgetting how young she is.
I know.
I
Usually they're dead by now.
Usually, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like, no offense, but usually if a young one's stranded and,
Like,
on
my
an
dear,
island and travels.
I think Mans is older than you.
probably. I'm not very old, even in halfling years.
I mean, I guess because you're friends with with Big Azure there, right?
Yeah.
Big A.
We only met each other a couple weeks ago, though.
Yeah. Is it okay if I call you Big A?
Big A.
You just see him just toss up a thumbs up as he's currently in the corner just preparing something.
We have little fairies running around. It's like, okay. Like, I don't really know too much about him, like, but
I don't know a ton either. I mean, we've talked a little bit, and I know some, but it's not my place to talk about anything.
fair
But,
enough.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy. I trust him.
Well, it seems like we're not getting anything to eat, so
I'm just
Quick-
going to go to sleep because I feel like crap still.
yeah, quicker
So
we
I
fall
just
asleep, the
curl
less
up
it hurts.
and, like, curl up next to a tree and kind of pull my blanket over, or my cloak, my piece of hemp fabric over myself. It's not a cloak, it's not a blanket, it's just a piece of fabric, so. And I just kind of cuddle up.
At this point, Azure also finishes what he was preparing as he casts Druid Craft to predict the weather for the next 24 hours.
Over the next 24 hours, you get the 24. Oh, I just bopped the mic. That is going to sound horrible. You get the, like, reeling, the slideshow almost, just hour by hour, tick, 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 as it goes by. With the only indication being it's going to be sunny, and the wind's going to pick up a bit, but no clouds.
Okay.
All right. So Phileas goes and he starts laying down and looks around. It's like, I don't think I took watch last time. I'm happy to do it since you guys have been doing a lot more than me, and I greatly appreciate it.
Honestly, I'm not tired. I don't mind being on watch. I can stay up for all the shifts if you guys want to rotate.
And Boz doesn't
Do you
need
not
to sleep.
sleep?
I do sleep, but in all honesty, I just have a rush. I think doing that little bit of hunting really got my heart pumping.
I didn't know looking at grass was that enticing, but okay. Well, I will still offer to take any of the watches. I don't know how people feel, but
I'm asleep straight through the night, so y'all figure it out.
as you continue, you just turn back over
I, like,
against the
roll
tree.
over a little bit, yep.
All right.
mean, Ayala, I can take at least the first section of the watch if you would like to prepare yourself for the rest of the night. Even if you don't need to rest. I didn't do anything today. I'd like to do something.
You pulled me out of a hole.
Yeah, do you think that took effort?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'll just sit here. And I'm gonna pick up some of the grass that we brought back, and I'm just gonna start braiding it, and I'm gonna make little rings for Mansa's fingers, just because I am bored and they're telling me to relax.
Okay. For every ring that you make, and we'll say, so Azure, you're staying for first watch?
Yeah.
So Azure and Ayala, go ahead and roll me a perception for the first watch. Phileas will offer to wake up for the third one.
Hey.
Nat 20.
All right.
I got
On
a
a
13.
perception.
On a perception, I see God himself.
So after the hour,
The gods
my hour
themselves.
is up, I will start my meditation.
Okay. So, first watch, first section of the night goes by. The only thing that you see is far to the north, maybe just like the tiniest hint of a light of sorts. Nothing growing or shifting or anything. But besides from that, it's incredibly quiet and no signs of anything.
Are we sure it's not the fire that Helene started last session? Are we sure? Because
No.
that'd be growing.
We're absolutely not sure. It probably is.
I might have started a forest fire.
But we
My
wouldn't know
bad.
that because we were not there. I was going to say asleep, but
You just know there's a fire.
yep.
Oops.
All right. Nothing else happens. Second watch.
At this point, Azure, since 4 hours would have passed at this point, right?
I got
Each watch is roughly 2.5 hours, or
Okay.
2 hours 40 minutes.
I'll
For-
take another one then, just waiting for Boz to wake up.
I got a 2.
All right.
After modifiers, that's if you cheat, please. Oh, good. Where'd it go?
I
Why?
think you have a few characters.
I think I do. At least one.
All right. So you're
At least a 17.
okay. So you're taking 2 watches.
Yes.
Okay. You are going to be tired the next morning.
This is to make up for the 4 hours, so then he's up.
I mean, Phileas was also offering to.
Yeah, Phileas was on second watch with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm not by myself.
So it's not necessary. There is someone else doing that. So, second watch. Everything is quiet once again.
Okay.
You and Phileas don't see anything, and Phileas definitely seems to be nodding off, but constantly then keeps turning back to Mans and still doesn't feel comfortable around
I
him.
would say by now, Mans has like linking rings, so there's like little chains and got like a bracelet and like the little like chain claw thing that goes up Because she's just idly breeding.
Every time you do it too, like he's desperately then worked. Like you put one on and he tries to use his thumb to like angle it and try to like flick it off.
Yes.
So you've had to do a lot of replacing, remending of some.
I would say by the third watch, she's made a Chinese finger trap and stuck it on his thumb and his like ring finger, and so his fingers are stuck like this and he can't get it out.
Go ahead and make a dexterity check for Mans to get out of it.
Okay.
DC 12.
Ooh. That is a 16.
So with a little, it takes him a little bit, but he is able to.
He uses his bone pinky and just claws it apart.
He weakens one edge, and he eventually gets it to the point where he, trapping two fingers together, he uses a third finger to like push down one side to pull that finger free.
Right. Come on now, mans.
Well, it's still stuck on one finger, so then he like walks up. He's got it stuck on the thumb, so he like goes and walks up and like uses it to like start bapping stuff.
Shit.
It's an extension.
I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna easily just pop it right off his finger like it was. She's like, I know. She's like, please don't strangle people this morning. No, later. Later. I know you really want to.
Asher just looks over.
He needs something to do. He gets handsy when he's bored.
All right, third watch.
Azure now goes for a nice fat sleep.
Oh
yes.
my gosh, my rolls tonight, guys.
Ooh. What are we doing? Perception?
Yep.
Yes.
11.
I got a 3.
That's with
Alright.
the +6.
So nothing catches your attention. Out here in the lands, in almost a no man's land area between the forest and the mountains, not a lot's traveling through. You see an occasion, especially as morning starts to get closer, you see like a hawk fly over, and at one point you hear small skittering like a mouse. But besides from that, nothing else is coming. Nothing else is catching your attention in any way. But you do notice that the wind is starting to pick up. And I would like one of you to go ahead and roll me just a D8.
I got it. While I'm rolling this D8, can I send Mans after that mouse to go catch it? So
Certainly try.
the halfling can have something to eat. That is a 5.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll a survival check for Mans to see how skilled he is at chasing down a mouse.
He got an 11.
All right. So,
His
unfortunately...
depth perception is off.
It's not the quickness, it's just the fact that the second that it's out of any potential type of line of sight blind sight that he has, it's so hard to then pick up. He's not able to come back with the mouse.
Okay. He tried.
That's right. So, with that, everyone awakens. Everyone's still alive. Nothing has happened. And as the morning breaks over the forest, first lighting up the tips of the mountains to the west of you, all of you feel like your stomach's kind of tightening up uncomfortably a bit, except for Boz. Although your stomach feels weird in a different way. It's
Grass
like
is hard to digest.
Forgot you ate the grass.
you ate grass, but you're used to this. But it's that hard, or it's that difficult section of where your cow stomach started to digest the grass, but then you transformed back with the grass in only the partially digested state. So you're not hungry.
He's used to this. He's done it before.
You are used to it, but it doesn't make it any less like uncomfortable, almost borderline painful.
Yeah,
but
but
you know it like it works.
Yeah, it's an emergency thing.
Yeah. But for the rest of you, hunger is now definitely setting in. So, as you guys pack up and start the next day of your travel, all tightening any potential belts you have, although I don't think most of you have belts right now. Maybe except Ayala. I would like one of you to go ahead and roll me a d20
Ooh, dibs.
for what
No,
is
your dice has been
potentially
shit
going
tonight.
to happen today.
No.
That's a 9.
Mine was a 15. I called.
Okay, what's halfway between 9 and 15?
Math.
11.
12.
It's an 11.
12.
Let's do this. Let's have the two of you roll off, and whichever one of you rolls higher for this one will take their previous roll.
What'd you get?
15.
19.
Ha!
Ha.
So you
So
take
it
your
was a 9.
previous roll.
So it was a 9.
Take the 9. Hey, it wasn't like a 1, so.
No, that's better.
So, with that, you guys progress through as a southwestern wind kind of kicks up. So, blowing to the southwest.
And we're going, so it's at our
You're headed-
backs.
yeah,
It's
you-
kind of pushing us along.
Yeah. Heading as you guys are heading more of straight south, maybe slight southeast. What would you guys like to do along the way? There's about a full day of travel, and for all intents and purposes, looking around, you can see a few miles ahead in front of you and behind you, with still a few hundred-yard distance between you and the forest, and the mountains very open on your right.
We should walk closer to the forest line so I can walk in it a little bit and see if we can find something to eat. Maybe even some berries or some animal that I can kill.
I am going to look around to see if I see any lost souls wandering around that maybe need a little guidance.
Okay. Go
other
make me.
than ourselves.
Go ahead, just instead of rolling a perception, just roll me a straight d20 to determine if any are actually around.
14.
14. So we're gonna say taking a glance around. As a little fairy ran by. There, you don't sense any trace of any lost souls in this area, and given the just vast openness, you're not overly surprised, knowing that they don't wander too far generally.
Okay. Do I still have the red-capped creature's soul with me?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Something's going on. It's out of my sight. I don't know what.
The fairies have taken marker to their face.
The fairies have given themselves war paint.
There may be a battle with the Fae coming soon. Or at least a reckoning later on in the evening.
It's okay, nothing a wet washcloth won't fix.
Hopefully. So, Phileas will chime in. It's like, I mean, if there's any potential for food, I am very okay going closer to the forest.
Let's do
You also
that.
look a lot better. Like,
Yeah,
what happened?
I feel so much better. Getting a full night of sleep, and then healing. Thank you for that again, boss.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate it. I'm glad my stubbornness didn't win, because I feel so much better.
You looked pretty bad. I don't think you would have made it the whole way.
So, Boz, you were able to heal?
Yeah, I used my last spell slot.
Yeah,
to
I feel
heal.
great.
Oh, so that was your last.
Yeah.
So we can't get hurt anymore.
It would be best if we didn't.
I mean, I don't want to get hurt normally. I'm not into that stuff, but okay. You know, it's just nice to know if there's any emergency ability for that, but I guess it's all out.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to get around it.
She needed the healing. I couldn't just, in good conscience, I couldn't let her like that because she wouldn't have made it to the city.
Yeah, given her condition, it would have been rough, but
But let's just stay out of unnecessary fights now.
It's probably a good idea.
and instead we'll go, I guess,
That was a
To the-
necessary one.
forest.
Yes, we just walk around the forest line. That gives us a little bit of cover, and then also the ability to track some animals.
We're not out in the open, at least.
Yeah, that too.
Okay.
Well, define out in the open. I mean,
A couple
Walking
hundred
across the
yards into
Alright.
the prairie.
All right. Well, I am okay with that. Also, I think there's a.
I hear
Yeah.
the goblin, the fairy. Let's not do that.
I don't get paid enough for this job.
Those are my tiny
right.
terrors.
We're not even
my
getting paid yet.
bad.
Who knows? Maybe by the time this episode comes out, but I doubt that. we're not there yet.
Not quite. We're getting there
Speed
though.
production.
Yeah. So, you guys alter your path and make a beeline closer to the forest as you then continue on. I do apologize. We've just got to.
I'm so sorry.
We got to make sure that
And
the safety of
door.
others is taken above all else.
Mainly just the safety of little humans.
Yes.
Our safety doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's fine.
As you can tell, we're already risking
I'm
it.
in danger.
You are a danger.
You
You're
are
a
the
menace.
All right. So, as you guys get to the edge of the forest, as everyone instinctually just starts looking for things edible, two of you go ahead and roll a survival check.
It wasn't me.
Come on.
I'm not rolling.
8.
Wait.
Ah.
19.
Plus?
0.
It seemed like you rolled.
I might have rolled.
Her dice rolled off the table.
Yeah, that's what happened. I didn't roll. I took my dice out of the ruling there. It was a test roll to see if maybe I should, but no.
Jaden.
I found nothing one way or another.
What?
Okay, I guess that's enough. Okay, so
Everyone's looking. It's fine.
19, you said?
Azur's a little sleepy. He's not paying as much attention as he should.
Okay. So, Ayala, with Mans' assistance, more or less, you're keeping an eye on him to make sure that he's not getting into any unnecessary problems. But by doing that, you do see that he at one point scurries off and it's not too bad, and you're keeping your senses out. And then you see him come back, and you see he seems to be covered in something.
What do you have on you?
And it just seems like almost a weird black substance. Almost like viscous of sorts. It's just covering him now.
I'm gonna run my finger through it, and I'm gonna.
You didn't even bother to smell it. You just taste it. You nasty girl.
It tastes sweet.
She's like, you might want to taste it too.
I want to sniff it first. Because this is weird. I'm not... No. You may not put your fingers in my mouth, you weird little disanimated thing. No.
Mans, just let her.
Just sniff. Sniff.
So, in sniffing, you do get a sweet odor coming from it.
Is it kind of tarry or more like a honey kind of consistency?
Nope, it's much more of a stained liquid.
Like a syrup almost?
Less than that. More of a juice.
Where'd you find this?
Drops down. Just watch as he starts heading into the forest.
I'm
gonna
going
trot
to go
after
after
him.
him.
Might have found some berries or something.
That's what it tasted like. I'm telling you, it did not taste bad.
Okay, well, I didn't want
All right, let's
to...
see.
Yuck.
Go ahead and make an attack roll for Mans, please.
Okay.
It is a...
Nat 1.
Oh, babe.
So as you guys
Rip.
are going and you're turning the corner, you see Mans right in front of a bush, and he seems to have a blackberry. And right as it's doing that, he goes to flick it, but it just explodes on him.
Oh.
But he has found what seems to be three blackberry bushes.
Ooh.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna just start going and picking a couple of them. Just
Um,
right off the bottom.
I'm going to take my
Sorry.
cup and start putting blackberries in the cup so I can carry it back to the others. And then I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm going to take up my robe and I'm just going to dump it in there and I'm going to start filling
Ooh,
it up.
I'll help, and I'll like eat one and then throw one in, eat one, and
One
then
for
throw
you,
it in.
one for me.
And so
one for you.
I think between the three of them, they kind of pick it, at least one of the bushes completely bare. Maybe the other one like halfway there. And I'm going to walk back to camp and I'm going to be like, we have fruit.
Well, we didn't make a camp yet.
Okay, back to where we stopped.
Okay.
What time did we stop? Was it like noon?
I would say, yeah, it's
Okay.
close to like noon. But everyone's just kind of been walking. I mean, without food or anything, there hasn't been too much of a need to set up for camp. Ayala, as you do that, at least for Phileas, he sees that, and he comes speed walking over. And you can see he's like starting to almost salivate a bit. It's like
Taking a handful, I'm just gonna be like, "Would you like some?"
holds out his hands. It's
And she pours it in. I pour it in.
It's sweet, but also a bit tart, but it is so much better than nothing.
It's a lot better than grass.
I can attest to that.
I am going
Just
to,
slowly looks at Boz. That was still weird.
I'm going to put the blackberries in a little pile, and I'm going to go back to where they were, and I'm going to collect some more and bring them.
All right. So we'll say collectively you guys are able to get a meager meal out of the blackberry bush that you were able to find. Between 4 full-size humanoids and a halfling, with you guys being substantially hungry, like you picked the berries or the bushes bare without too much left over, but you're no longer hungry.
Excellent.
Azure is now slightly more awake.
All right. So
I'm going to sit there cleaning off mans, staining my dress.
I'm
in the
sitting there like
process.
licking my fingers, like, that was really good. I don't think I've had that much to eat in weeks.
In weeks.
didn't you guys have yams?
Oh yeah, well we had the yams, but I mean,
I think like
You had-
those were some big yams. I think
They were.
those-
Those actually were
That's
quite
true.
filling.
I forgot about those. It's been a long couple of days, okay?
It's only been a couple of days.
Yeah, with you.
It's been a long couple of days.
She was on a boat before that.
Yeah. And then before that, I was with Azure and some traders wandering through the woods. Coincidentally. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just happy that I, for one, don't feel my stomach trying to eat itself anymore.
I must escort a fairy to the restroom.
But when Helene does mention that, you will actually see as Azure's face just sour slightly.
Well, with our stomachs now full, let's be off.
Yes, let's go.
As with everyone with a little bit more pip in their step, you continue heading south. So for the rest of the day, nothing's going to happen. Going into the evening, are you guys wanting to set up any type of camp along the forest ridge? Or are you wanting to stay on the forest ridge or head back out more into the open plains?
I personally say that we stay in the forest.
At least close to the edge.
Yeah.
It gives
So
us
we
an escape.
can a place where we can see out very well, but they can't see in very well, if that makes sense.
Like a tree or
Okay.
two in, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Go make a perception check to try to find a good place for that.
Okay.
Each of us are
2 of you.
I got an 18.
All right.
13.
Ayala's dice have come alive.
They will go.
So
This dice is getting
you're able to
tired.
find a pretty good sheltered place where you've got some pretty good visibility in the surrounding area while getting some cover yourself.
Okay.
So with that, as everyone's kind of bedding down for the night without a dinner around, and with the 19 looking around, unfortunately, there's no more berry bushes in this area.
That's fine. I'm thinking what was ever left over, we kind of like maybe
There really wasn't anything left over.
Yeah, I was gonna say what little there was. Yeah, we brought with us.
All right. So as the night's winding down for this next day of travel, Phileas goes up to you, Ayala, and it's like, look, I'm not going to pretend to know about elves and their sleeping patterns, but I know that everything needs to sleep. Please feel free to sleep. I'm sure the rest of us can get this.
Taking like a forceful sigh, like a forced deep breath in, and all right, I'll sleep.
Don't worry, we'll make sure you don't sleep for however many, was that weeks, days last time? Like, we'll wake you up in the morning, don't
I
worry.
think it was just a couple of days.
Okay. Like, are you afraid that we're gonna like leave you? Like, we're
No.
not gonna do that.
Honestly, you could walk away and I'd still be fine. Well,
I mean,
not
we
you
did
per
find you
se.
in the woods by yourself, so.
Exactly. I've been traveling by myself for hundreds of years.
I know that feeling.
Hundreds, multiple hundreds?
No, singular
How old
hundreds.
are you?
About 157 or so.
Oh, you're still pretty young then.
Oh,
I am.
you're like 140 years older than me.
I am.
How old is that in human years?
Roughly about 32.
Oh,
Does that make
so
you
you're just
older
like
than
double my
Asher?
age.
Yes.
Okay.
I get so confused with the different races, but you look still younger than that. Like, I swear I've seen elves roughly your age who don't look
You know, after
nearly as young as you.
after a while, I kind of stopped counting because it just periodically, you know.
I mean, it sounds like you've had a really lonely travel. I mean, besides Mans, but he's not much for talking, it seems like. And no offense to Mans, but as a bard, like,
He's like,
I understand. Yeah. He goes and, like, flicks a rock at Phileas.
I'm only 375, so I'm only a little older than she is.
a little.
I'm almost 16. My birthday's in a couple months.
Actually, I lost track of my exact age.
Exactly.
If I remember the last time my parents helped me count it, it was about 20.
And
Your
how long
parents had to
ago
help
was
you
that?
count? Do you
It's
know
a
how
little
to
funky.
count?
It's a
Did
little
you
funky.
did you count to 20 with your shoes on or off?
More of a thing of last time I actually talked about it with somebody.
Which was
It came out to
approximately
20.
how long?
Yeah. I don't think I've actually asked you guys, but where is everyone from? Like, I already kind of shared I'm out north from Anod Secker, but
That's a good question.
panic research, panic research.
I am from Congarel. Did I say that?
Oh, the
wrong?
capital.
Yes, I'm from the capital.
I'm originally from Standiga, but I spent a lot of time in the capital.
I feel like it's almost at someone with your age, like if you're not at a location for at least 100, 200 years, then it's hard to call it home.
Yeah, I really don't.
Or am I
have-
being like really biased or
I
discriminatory?
think
I
you're
don't
being
know.
a little discriminatory because I assure you, I have had many homes, but my home of birth
How
is the
long
capital.
do you have to stay in a place for it to be a home?
I mean, I feel like with someone with your age, it's just kind of more of where you were born.
A home?
Yeah. I
is
was
depending on
born-
what you want it to be. This forest could be our home.
You know, I spent a long
I grew
time
up
in that
in a
cave,
forest.
but I really don't consider that home.
I grew up in the forest, right above Standiga, the Kala forest, I think.
No.
We had a little tribe up in the mountains right there in the forest, and it was a good home.
You said near Standiga, you said?
Yeah, kind of up north a little bit,
Huh.
kind of just in the forest. We were kind of a isolated, hidden tribe. We didn't really interact with other people very much.
Okay. I know there's a small little port town up there called Asker, but I mean, the forests north of there are pretty cold. I didn't know there was a village of
I'll check on
halflings
the
up
fairies
there.
this time.
Was it
It's-
halflings or was it a mixed village?
It's just halflings, but we're pretty to ourselves. It was kind of like a secret village, and I can tell you about it now because it doesn't exist anymore. We about 3 years ago. It was about 3 years ago or now, almost to this day. About 3 years ago, some slave traders and mercenaries came in and took everybody hostage and burned down the village. So
That's
that
awful.
was pretty traumatizing. Yeah,
That's really, really awful.
yeah. I wasn't there when it happened. I was off with some friends and with my little sister, and we were practicing hunting in the woods, and when we came back, they were there, and we tried to stop it, but we were just kids, and we got captured too. So,
Oh my gosh, what
Yeah.
happened after that?
well, they sold us, and they sold us all to different places, and my sister and I and our friend Caleb, I think his name was. It's been years, and trauma does things to the brain. But we all got sold to this one place in the mountains near Standiga, and
Then
They did some really horrible stuff to us.
Why
So.
bother coming back to the side if you have trauma here?
I only recently escaped. I escaped probably about almost 3 weeks ago now, and I ran into Azure right after I got away. So he's kind of been helping me get away.
Wow.
So
And then right after that, you were captured again.
again, yeah.
Your luck is terrible. Sorry, I feel like that came across insensitive, but it's so rare to hear someone be captured, actually escape, but then to be captured, it seems independently from that, like, again, like,
Yeah.
that just doesn't happen.
On the upside, you weren't killed or
I kind of wish I would have been.
blatantly tortured for days and days and days.
Yeah, that never happened.
Good. You probably don't want that to
Boz
happen.
then looks at Ayla after she says that, as if he can tell that was almost from personal experience. Are you all right? Did you have anything weird happen to you?
I've been alive for quite some time, and you want to think if I have anything weird that's ever happened to me. I pick up Mans.
Yes, I've seen that before. Some similar things, but I've been alive longer than you, and nothing like that's happened to me.
It's because you lived in a cave your whole life.
It was barely half.
I think what Boz is saying is, like, if there's something weird that most people wouldn't have,
Exactly.
actually survived through. Because a lot of people go through weird stuff, but a lot of them then are dead by the end of it, so they can't really tell of it.
No, they're just stories that I've heard of what have happened to other people. I've heard
You'll
of
have to share.
I've heard of people going missing in towns and.
Boz is rolling insight on that. Oh, actually rolls well. 17.
Go ahead and roll perception or perception or
Deception.
persuasion or deception. There we go. Oh my gosh.
You got it.
Dyslexia.
That is a dirty 20.
So,
And that was on persuasion.
okay. So, Boz,
He believes her for now.
for now. Well, I mean, if you're ever open to sharing some of the stories, I'm always happy for new inspirational ideas for some of my tunes.
I love hearing bard's tales. I would absolutely love to share some of my adventures with you.
It's like, great. So,
But first, I should go sleep because
yeah,
that's what
I was
you
gonna
want
say,
me
like,
to
I'm
do.
really wanting to talk to you, but
Right.
we can discuss tomorrow on the road.
Absolutely.
Azure now just like looks at everyone, just slightly offended. He didn't get to say where he's from.
Nobody cared about Azure.
No one cares about Azure.
Assholes.
He didn't even say anything. He just looks at everyone like,
Go ahead and make an insight check, Azure.
if I can get to this. 14.
14. You get a realization that it's probably not intentional, but thinking back over the last few days, you kind of realize that the amount that you've actually spoken out loud may be giving off the wrong impression. And because it seems like everyone hasn't intentionally ignored you, but just has gotten used to you not speaking almost to a degree, and is maybe just isn't pushing like a topic.
He's taken a vow of silence.
A vow of silence that he can never break. Bum bum bum.
Unintentional vow of silence.
Yes.
All right. So who's taking first watch? Boz. Phileas will join you with the first watch.
Mans is gonna stay up for all 3 watches. I mean, he's gonna stay. Oh wait.
Okay. All right. So perception.
Mans' perception is.
That's cocked.
Oh wow, Mans.
That's cocked again.
Mans got a 15.
Okay, there we go.
What is-
21.
21. All right.
I'm thinking Mans is like sitting on Iala's knees, just like watching where he's at. Like crawls up on top of her head sometimes. It's like,
It's almost like guarding.
yeah.
Got a guard route.
Yeah. Yep. He is my garter.
So
He's
during
not
the
a
watch, Phileas really doesn't do too much. He keeps looking over, and specifically at Mans. And at some point, he does mention to you, Boz, as you're very, keen on everything going around. But it's like, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but like that thing is undead, right? Like, how else could it not be like us? How else could it be moving?
Well, it did die, and then she resummoned it again. So I don't know how much undead it is, as it might be just a familiar.
But I thought even them, they were like from the Fae usually. I can't imagine that thing's from the Fae.
They can be infernal.
That, I don't know if that makes it even creepier. I mean, like undead is one thing.
It's
That's
definitely
always
not
kind of been.
celestial.
Huh?
It's definitely not celestial.
Oh God, no. Great. Now all I can imagine is like a little halo floating over that thing. Yet I feel like it would still try to use it as a weapon.
Probably.
That checks out.
All right. As the night continues on, nothing else happens for the first watch. Phileas is going to lay down. Who's taking second watch?
Azure will wake up.
Okay.
I'll wake up and sit with him for a little bit.
Now Boz goes down.
All right.
Mans is
meditation.
still just fingering things out.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Okay.
He's like 1/3 finger, so.
All right. And then who's planning on taking third watch?
You said each watch is like 2.25 hours,
Yeah.
2.75 hours. I'll be almost done with my. I'll hop in an hour. Until
We'll
then.
say that you stopped your watch early and Phileas finished it off.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. So second watch. Go ahead and roll Azure and Helene.
Yeah.
Mans got a 13.
I'll come up with a plan.
No. It's
I
not
was
one, but
watching.
no.
I was watching. I got a 17.
Okay. In the forest, as night crawls on, and it is roughly pushing like 2 a.m. now, and in your watch, at some point you do hear the sound of distant animals in the forest. Some of them small birds, or well, not birds, but small
critters.
bats and critters of the nocturnal type, rustling around far off, nothing too close. And occasionally the sound of something bigger, maybe hunting them or stalking them or just prowling its territory. Nothing seems to be getting closer, and
Javelina, bear, coyote, wolf. I'm
Kenku.
fairly familiar with the forest. Can I hear grunting? Can I hear shuffling?
it is more of low growling from time to time, but it's more of like that distance, so it's probably, whatever it is, it's probably a few hundred yards out at the closest, and you're hearing just slight things of them, whatever this creature is, seems more...
They locked themselves out.
whatever the
locked in the
creature is,
Feywild.
which I would say you would gather based off of the small amount that you've heard.
I've rolled on it too if you want.
You had enough information before.
okay.
You're not going to be able to determine exactly what it is. What you would be able to determine, it is probably predatory in nature, and is still between a few hundred yards to like a quarter mile away.
Okay. Well, I would like to just keep my ear out for it, and if it comes within 100 yards, I'm going to alert people.
Okay. Throughout the rest of your
Otherwise-
watch, it does not seem to get any closer, and if anything, is going off in another direction.
Okay.
All right. So, we will go ahead and skip the third watch as the watchman is busy taking care of the fairies for the moment.
Mans has the watch.
Mans has what? Go ahead and roll for Mans.
Okay. Come on, Mans, you got this.
No,
It's
he
an
does not.
11. He saved your life, so I would shut up if I was you.
That
That was out of character. In character, we love Mans. Now.
Yeah,
For
man's-
now.
Man's got an 11.
Okay. So, rest of the watch happens. Nothing else takes place. Mans doesn't have to awaken anyone via strangulation.
Yet. I mean,
Yet.
correct.
So, with that, the morning comes. You guys are again feeling quite hungry, but you're all alive.
I don't wake up.
Huh?
I don't wake up. I'm out cold.
All right. So, Ayala is out cold.
You know, I'll start stretching and like.
How cold?
Everything was okay.
No, how
Hey.
cold?
Oh, how cool.
I'm gonna kick her a little bit with my foot. Hey, we're getting ready to go. Wake up. Hey.
Is there any reaction?
No.
Hey! Kind of like lean down in her ear.
When
Hey!
when she leads down in my ear, my hand is just gonna shoot up and grab her by the chin. I kind of lift her off the ground a little bit, and she's like, "I can hear you, just fine," and then let her go.
Well, then you should respond. It's rude to ignore people.
It's
I
also
think
rude
she
to
might.
kick people while they're sleeping.
It was a light tap. It wasn't like I was full on kicking you in the ribs. Why you gotta be so...
Grumpy.
I think she's just used to only a certain style of wake up, given that Man's.
So you're saying I should have choked her?
I mean, it seems that's what Man's does, so. Are we wrong?
I don't think my hands are big
Ayala,
enough to get all the way around her throat.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be the best one for it. I'm kind of afraid myself to do that. But I mean, we do have Boz and Azure. Like, is that
Yeah,
a good
we'll
way in
just
the
get
future?
one of the boys to choke her.
If that's what it takes, I'll do it.
How about
Boz is
just
completely clueless
have
as to.
Man's waking
I am
up?
too. I don't know what we're
He
talking
can handle
about.
it completely fine. Besides,
Okay, fine. Well, next time Mans needs to
Phileas
wake you
looks
up
at
earlier.
Man's like, you know, there's some people that would pay a lot of money, I guess, for that service.
he's like,
I don't understand.
You don't need to understand. I'll tell you when you're older.
That's not fair.
Oh, trust me, it is.
I mean, there's younger people in that business.
Yes, but
I'm not saying it's good. I'm
not
just
in this side of the map.
Azure, what are they talking about?
Azure
I
doesn't
don't
even-
think you want to know.
I'm telling you, you don't. Clearly, you don't listen to me.
Ayla,
Well,
I don't think she wants to.
I don't think she wants to know either.
If I was holding up the right number, I don't know.
Fine. Everybody knows that everybody's in on the joke, and I'm just here.
Oh, sweetheart.
Everybody treats me like a kid.
maybe it would be good.
You are a kid.
You are rather young.
I've been through, well, I can't say that. I've probably been through just about as much life shit as you have.
What if, when we get to town, if you really want to know, after we acquire some funds, we can give her a showing at a professional
We're going to a
location.
show? I want to see a show. I heard about that
I
in
am
my
going
town. We used to have
to,
plays.
Give him a hug and be like, that sounds like a wonderful idea. I will happily go along for this.
This way, she's exposed to it in a safe way.
Yes, a safe way.
Are we talking about magic? Is this a magic show?
In a sense, it kind of can be a magic show. Depending
is
on
doing a
who's
wisdom check.
performing it.
Okay, yeah.
He passes. He understands what's going on.
Depending on who performs it, yes, it can be a magic show, dear.
It is a performance, and there are things that you will never forget.
Don't you think she's a little young for that?
The
That's what we
curiosity is
said.
I'm
going to lead her
almost
there.
16.
Yeah, that's
I'm
a little
not a
young.
Wait, I thought you
kid.
said you were 16.
Almost 16.
It's like a month away.
I'm not a kid.
The curiosity is going to drive her there eventually.
Oh, God. As long as it's
I've
not...
always been raised to, present it in a safe manner and let them make their decisions themselves after that.
So what would the safe word
I'm still
be?
not sure about that.
Are we talking about the people who breathe fire? Like to drink the alcohol and then spray it out of their mouths and light it on
Alcohol
fire?
is probably involved, yes.
My parents let me try alcohol when I was little. It was part of our coming of age ritual. I was 10.
There's just
So the
stunned-
city is this way. Let's go.
There's just stunned silence, and Phileas eventually goes, "Wait, you come of age at 10? Don't
Technically,
halflings like live to be like a few hundred?"
well, coming of age meaning we're starting our training. We had some pretty rigorous training.
What type of secret village did you live in?
I'm more worried about the alcohol and the choking, and we should probably get going, my friends.
Yes, let's keep moving.
That's probably
I'm
a
a bit
good
worried
idea.
about
All things considered, I think that's a.
The rest of the morning is spent
Uppies?
with
I grab the small child and they get put onto Azure's shoulders as we
Say I'm
continue
not a
walking.
kid.
as you're up there. The rest of the morning,
like-
as you guys are traveling, is spent with like Phileas, like probing questions, and you like dodging them, or just sometimes ignoring them and having Azure just be a blockade for you.
I mean, I learned how to gut a rabbit when I was 11. That was pretty cool.
That is a good skill.
Wait, you drank before you learned how to gut a rabbit.
Yeah. It was part of the
Are
ritual.
you sure you're not dwarven?
I mean,
She's way too thin to be a dwarf.
I agree.
Like,
I'm
even-
pretty sure we're halflings, but also my village was just a little bit different than other villages from what I was told.
There
We
could
We had
have
some
been.
different.
In the city, if you were a child that
Customs.
had out, oh, I don't even want to.
There
Was-
could have been
what-
dwarfs there.
When do other kids drink?
I mean, usually not till at least like 14.
Yes, in their late teens.
So, you know,
Oh.
combine that fact with the fact that you're also just small of stature, you see why we're surprised.
Well,
And-
it also
and you
keeps
don't know
us
of other-
warm too. It was really cold up in the forest. Everybody drank. I could use a drink right now. It's been a long time.
Says the 16-year-old.
Right?
Yeah.
All
What's
right.
so weird about that? You said they drink in their late teens, so technically I'm a late teen now. So it's
Now.
normal.
Now that was 6
Now.
years ago.
All right, someone go ahead and roll me a d20 to see how the events of the day.
That's what you get. You wanted revenge for last time.
2.
2.
2.
If it was a 1, I could have re-rolled.
All right.
Those cursed twos.
So,
Yep.
with a 2, you guys continue your conversation. Before we'll say Phileas eventually gets tired of kind of some of the probing questions and eventually like kind of heads off, and as he's out ahead and it's a little before midday, he goes, hey guys,
Yes.
as we hear music coming from the other side. I think there's a settlement just burnt down over there. And as he points off, you can see in the distance what seems to be different wooden structures that are just completely black, that have mostly fallen down. But from a distance, it's hard to get a whole lot of other detail on it.
Oh, that.
Are they still burning?
No, there's no smoke whatsoever coming from them. It's more that the complete charredness of a lot of the supposed wood just has a stark contrast to the light gray of the mountains that are acting as the backdrop to it.
Oh.
Should we
Should we-
investigate or should we stay the heck away from that?
Maybe
Checking on
carefully.
the pixies.
The fairies?
Yeah, let's check on the. Let's make a careful approach over there.
Double
The
check.
teacher enters the room.
Yes.
Excuse me.
So yeah, we will.
What do you think you're
Let's
doing?
cautiously approach there.
Let me down, let me down.
All right. So the party cautiously approaches. turning west again towards kind of the mountains from the edge of the forest line, you go and cross the expanse of just kind of the rolling grassy area. And after about 20 minutes or so, you walk upon what is very obviously a small village that was raised not recently, but quite a long time ago. You look around and you see a lot of buildings that have completely collapsed in. Those that haven't completely collapsed have still been severely burned, with only, due to some fortune, not had the maybe main support beams crush in, but every roof has completely gone in. Past that, you see other charred debris scattered around, but there doesn't seem to be anything else. Taking a closer look, there's no sign of life, and there's no even like obvious tracks or sign of anything having lived here. But
Are there charred bodies?
Are there any spirits?
go ahead, for the both of you, go ahead and make an investigation.
Guess what it is?
A 2.
Yes.
Nat 20 plus 4.
You're gross.
A 2 and a 20.
You're not allowed to use that
nasty.
dice anymore.
So,
Yeah, I know.
Helene, as you're looking around,
It's all the dice. It's just your dice tray.
You say that, but it happened with the last one too.
so as you look around, there are no dead bodies. There are no corpses. There are no charred remains.
I know I said where my village was. This isn't my village, right?
No.
Okay, I was just double checking because I like literally just pulled that out of my bum and I was like, wait, was this your plan? Oops.
Nope.
I was wrong, guys. I actually lived down here. I just didn't realize it.
No, this is not your village. You are quite sure of that, given the proximity of where the mountains are. And this is also a very small village. What you are able to tell, as the 5 of you collectively, or the 4 of you along with Phileas, or 6 if you're including Mans, go
We are.
around, this was a pretty small settlement. You take a glance around. You can tell it had basic structures. You do see that there was like a blacksmith, and there's still an anvil that's there. But everything else, it's hard to identify what. But it probably housed no more than 60, 70 people. So with that then, Ayala, as you're looking around, you do see a spirit.
Okay. I'm going to pick up Mans, and I'm going to speak to him in Infernal.
Are you being subtle or discreet about this?
Just like idly picking him up and like whispering to him, so
Okay.
nobody else like hears it, and she's gonna be like, "Go get it," and she's gonna put him. I'm gonna put him down to let him go play off in the shadows.
I heard Infernal and I peeked.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Me?
No. You go ahead and make a stealth check and perception.
Huh?
Not you, Helene.
Yeah, I
You're
didn't
good.
think so.
Man's got a 9.
10?
Oh, me a stealth check.
Yes, you a stealth check, not Mans.
My bad. I thought you meant Man's. 11.
11.
My perception is barely beat.
Yep. So you don't pick up the infernal whisper that was
Barely.
given.
Infernal whisper.
Infernal whispers. So,
I want to wander off and see if I can go find anything too.
okay. So for the, as Ayala is doing her something with Mans, but none of you guys can really tell. What is everyone else doing?
Boz is going to look around to see if there's anything. See if there's a remnants of a vegetable garden nearby that may have grown wild, but at least still has vegetables in it.
Okay. Not investigation. Go ahead and roll me just a straight d20.
20. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
Considering how badly I've been rolling until this point. That was really nice.
Okay. Helene, what are you doing?
I'm specifically looking for more like a cellar because everything may have burned, yes, but if there was a cellar, it's underground, so it's probably okay.
Okay.
don't
Go ahead
know.
and make an investigation.
Yeah. Oh, I don't need 2. I just need 1. I hate your tray.
It's a 5.
That's a 5. Okay. Azure, what are you doing?
Breaking my dice. I need to just go wash them in scalding hot water.
I've got
Just
some alcohol
holy
back there.
water. Thank you.
I just rolled that.
It's stuck.
What can I say?
We're just gonna
You're
we're removing the
right.
tray from the equation.
One more tray. I wonder how that sounds on the mic, though.
Probably
Probably
really
not
bad.
good.
As you do it
We
again.
flipped the tray on its back.
Azure, what are you doing?
Seeing that there's an anvil and a potential, even if it's burnt, is it burned? Is the blacksmith completely burned down, or is it one of the building that's like,
No, most of this building too was burned down. There's still remnants of like a forge and an anvil, and you do see hunks of metal that at one point were a tool, where the wooden handles of it have been completely like burnt and turned to ash, and only like scarred iron remains from like a sledgehammer head and other stuff.
Okay.
So an anvil. Okay. So while you're thinking of what you're wanting to do, go into Boz. For the vegetable garden, given the small proximity of it, you're able just to kind of do a little scope. It's like, okay, what's on the outside? That would count as something. And you do find more towards the western side, closest to the mountains, an evened out area that is full, and it's got a small pumpkin patch growing.
Oh, this is impressive. So he gathers up anything that looks nice and ripe, and
Go to roll me a d8.
D8. Don't be a 1.
Is that us?
It was a 3.
This is a 3. So you're going to find 5
Did you give me bangs?
medium-sized pumpkins
Okay.
that are elite, ripe, if not close to ripe.
So he pulls around his cloak, which he has the fabric, and he gathers them up as best as he can.
Okay. Each one's like a solid, like these are good-sized pumpkins too that you're able to find. Each one, let's see how much they weigh.
Yes, let's.
Each one's about an 8-pound pumpkin.
That's still not that bad. I can still carry 5.
Yeah.
My strength is 11, so I'm not weak.
So 40 pounds of pumpkins.
Yeah.
Holy moly. That's a lot of pumpkin.
It's a lot of
Azure
food.
knows what Azure would like to do.
I'm sorry, is that pumpkin spice that I can turn into a latte? Sorry.
There's
All
some
right.
pumpkin in pumpkin
Azure,
spice.
what-
Coffee
are you
sounds
doing?
good too.
It is a
only
long
had
shot,
coffee a
but
couple
Azure, even after seeing like kind of scarred iron and remains of what could have been tools and weapons, wants to actually kind of try to look around the area, move whatever he can out of the way to see if he can find any more weapons.
Okay. I would say that the iron that you do see initially on top is also very rusted. That's another factor of it.
Okay.
But go ahead and roll investigation.
Tin roof. Rust.
11. It was almost a 15. I'm sad now.
11. So, brushing through everything, really trying to upturn different, like small little mounds or pushing ash across or anything, trying to find anything that might not have been picked clean at some point. You do reveal we're going to say a warhammer. That you were able to find that happened to, given whatever commotion happened, seemingly fell more of a little behind a forge and like a stone wall there and was protected from it. So you find one warhammer.
A weapon that's better than my short shirt. Let's go.
Okay.
I bet you can sell it for 40K.
Da-dunt. All right. Helene, you continue your search trying to find a cellar.
What if I try even harder?
All right. You watch as Helene goes, and she seemingly goes to like every building. You watch as she goes and fumes a little bit, and then walks back and does a second round trip of everything. Don't roll. I'm gonna get back to you on it.
Okay.
So, Ayala, go ahead and roll me dexterity for Mans
Okay.
as he starts playing the cat and mouse game that he's ever so used to now.
He has a nat 20.
Nat
plus
20.
2.
It's been a little while, so you watch as man hops down, he gets there, and you watch as he stretches out
Would you like
a bit.
He pops his fingers.
Yep.
Just got my blue.
Even
I'm gonna be.
I was like, he has to
Cracks
like,
his wrist a
he has to
bit.
like roll on the ground to pop his fingers.
Yep.
Because that would be like way more for me.
as he go, and you watch as he then goes,
To be
and
fair,
almost
big
like a
enough for my
cat,
normal
it sort of like
boobs.
starts stalking up.
They're small.
Mm-hmm.
And flicks a pebble over one way to that actually gets the attention of this like wandering soul a bit before he goes and pounces on it. And he's able to run up, grab hold of almost like the ethereal tail end of it and yanks it to the ground as only you hear this just slight wail starting to emanate from it. So it just goes, ah, ah.
I'm gonna walk over to where Mans looks like he's just wrestling himself on the ground.
It does look, to everyone else, it would look like he's just like going like this.
He's having a little seizure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's dancing to the music in his head.
But as you get closer, you hear the soul as it just quietly just wails with so little energy left.
Reaching out, I'm going to take the soul by the chin and be like, listen, I can get you somewhere where you'll be a lot more comfortable. But you cannot fight it. You just have to come with us. Do you think you can handle that?
You look at the soul and you see the soul itself is scarred, and parts of it are worn, maybe reflecting a potential very gruesome injury that maybe occurred at the time of death, or maybe just representing who knows how long of just stress and just the almost feeling of abandonment as it's been forced to just wander aimlessly in this area, maybe tied down even.
Anchored.
As it then looks and it's like, and you just hear, I'm just so tired.
She's like, you don't have to be tired anymore. I am here for you, and we will make it so things are easier. Now, what exactly happened to you and this location?
So it just kind of goes and looks around from one to the other. It's like, there was flames, and there were screams, and I felt it was a sharp pain. And then all I can remember from that is it's just existing.
Do you know what caused the flames, or
It was dark, and then everything was a light. I don't. Just so tired.
That's all right. You can rest now. I'm gonna have Mans take him over to the other spirit that I have and kind of tie them up together, so we can take them with us.
Okay, how do you tie them up?
I'm thinking it's like an ethereal bind, like I bind their souls to me, so
Okay.
they are gonna have to stick with me until I release them.
Okay. So the
Maybe
soul
it's
does.
like my tome or my teacup or something.
Okay.
Your focus.
Yeah.
Your teacup.
The tome?
So, and just kind of for clarification, because I don't. Well, actually, you know what? We'll discuss that later. But you're able to successfully bound them to you. We're gonna go ahead. Well, with Helene absent taking care of a fairy, we're gonna. Oh, there goes the fairy. Phileas is gonna kind of walk around and go. It's like, wow, I didn't know there was even a village or a settlement here.
They
like-
said, I mean, apparently, she's like trying to figure out how to word this. It looks as though there was a fire. Like,
As he goes and
but
he
it
picks,
doesn't look nature made, if that makes sense.
he goes and picks up this completely charred piece of wood, and it's like, well, I feel like that, at least the first part was obvious, but how do you, he goes and tosses it behind his shoulder. How do you know it wasn't a natural fire? I mean, I get that, there's nothing else, but I mean, grass can grow back fairly quickly, especially on these mountainsides.
It's right about this time, Boz comes back, almost interrupt, like, I got lunch.
Oh my. That's
See, things go back quick, but
taking in another forced deep breath. Well, let's just say I see dead people.
he looks at you and it's like, I want to question that and I want to doubt it, but I don't have a good reason not to, and that actually scares me more than the fact that you just said that.
It is the pact of my my deity.
Wait, who do you worship again?
Hell?
You watch as his eyes like kind of go back and forth, and they go really big, and it's like, oh, was that mentioned before? Like I feel like you mentioned that before.
Not as far as I remember. As you see now, as you're approaching with the warhammer that he has, kind of like with this look of glee on his face.
No, I don't.
That's even scarier now.
I don't believe I mentioned it. I think, if anything, I mentioned my dislike for Thor.
What are we talking about? I wandered off for a minute.
I got lunch.
Yes,
got
we
lunch?
we should eat lunch and
No, we were talking about gods. Who do you worship? Do you worship a god?
yes.
Who?
She said she worshipped hell.
Hell?
It's a deity of death. Am I right?
Absolutely.
I was wondering why you're a little dark and twisted.
And it's he goes, Phileas like leans down to you and kind of whispers, and it's not considered a nice one either.
She doesn't seem very nice to me. So that's not really surprising.
Kind of looks up and it's like, yeah,
I mean, does she seem sweet and cuddly to you?
nah.
I'm sorry. You haven't tried to cuddle me. I assure you, I do enjoy a good
I
cuddle.
think if I tried to cuddle you, I'd get strangled.
No, that would be if you tried to cuddle Mans.
He
And
seems
after
pretty
all,
territorial of you, so
You're only slightly larger than him.
he's
is so
protective. We've been through a lot together. I saved him, he saved me.
Wait, how did he save you again?
yeah, how did he save you?
I'm doing a willpower test here to see if I have the willpower to keep it. I don't. I am going to take off my first layer of robes, like so my cloak and everything like that.
Whoa.
I thought we were waiting until
No,
we got into town.
No.
Phileas like puts his hands initially like over Helene's eyes.
Taking that off, I have a cropped shoulder dress.
Okay.
So you it goes like this, and then turning to show my left side, you can see stitches that go from here all the way down and then vanish under my sleeve. And then I'm gonna pull up both of my sleeves, and from here on my left side, it goes from wrist all the way up to my shoulder. On my right side, it is just the elbow. I'm dead.
Oh,
Well,
that makes a lot of sense.
You look pretty alive to me.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Like, if
No,
you're
it makes
dead,
perfect sense.
So,
how does that make sense?
She sleeps less than I do.
okay.
But she just slept last night.
Damn.
Did I?
She slept like
Did
the
you?
dead.
Okay, let's get these pumpkins situated and I'll tell everybody who I really am. I try to
We
hide
need-
it from a lot of people
We need a knife. These things will.
because of
break.
the expression that you are giving me right now. That's why I hide it
I'm
from
more
people.
wondering how you died.
I will explain that.
Okay.
So
I should try to go find some liquor for us.
I'm
'cause
going
I think we're gonna
to-
need it.
I'm gonna help with
Wink.
prep the pumpkins.
I rolled 19 this time
Okay.
before modifiers, so maybe I find something.
Maybe.
All
if
right.
the dice gods are willing.
So, with the new revelation that Ayala is
dead.
claiming to be dead, and seemingly has a long story and some physical proof for it, Phileas is going to go with you and just kind of separate and starts looking around for a cellar. While Boz and Ayala, you guys are working on cracking open the pumpkins.
Yes.
And Azure, what are you doing?
I'm thinking the man with the warhammer needs to sit there and smack a couple pumpkins.
Yeah, no, I was gonna offer my help because
Whack-a-mole.
I could put a short sword in a pumpkin
Yeah.
and then use the warhammer to crack the pumpkin with the short sword.
Okay, yeah, we don't need a Gallagher going on here. We just want them to slice nicely.
All right. So,
We don't need to obliterate the pumpkins.
while the three of you are slicing open pumpkins, Helene and along with Phileas, as you're going into different houses, Phileas goes, and as you're walking in one, he goes like, "Whoa!" It's like floorboards are weak here. Just be
I can
careful.
do it. I weigh like 30 pounds, so it shouldn't be a problem.
So as you do that, you step kind of on the thing and like you tap your foot just to check to make sure there's not just like a straight hole or it's about to give. But as you do that, you notice that it's giving much more of a hollow response than it should.
I'm gonna lean down and I'm gonna knock on it.
And it definitely sounds like there's an opening below it.
Okay. I'm gonna look around and see if there's like a little like latch that I can open it, or maybe see if there's a floorboard that's loose and I can just pry it open.
There's no specific latch, and there's nothing indicating that there should be something under here, but with a little bit of determination, you are able to just start taking, especially with the...
Phileas, give me a hand here.
Okay. Together, you're able to just pry and break apart a lot of the wood that was here, revealing what is a hidden cellar.
Ooh. Let's see if there's some goodies down here.
Yeah. With
'Cause I don't know about you, but after that revelation, I could definitely use a drink.
with the excitement kind of building up some, with you and Phileas going down, as you start, and there is a ladder there.
Okay,
and the
cool.
ladder seems undamaged. It is more of wood rot, but it is not burned. But as you start going, just even turning around to start climbing down the ladder, you are hit by this waft of what just smells like rot and decay.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna gag and then be very cautious about going down there.
Now you see Phileas go,
That doesn't smell too promising.
nope, that's not liquor.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be...
You stay up here. I can deal with this.
No,
Just go.
Last time you almost died.
Okay, just stand up here and I can holler if I need help.
No, I'll just hold my breath because oh my
Okay,
god,
fine.
this is bad.
Pull your shirt over your nose or something.
Yep.
Freaking pussy.
All right. All right. So
I've smelled much worse.
you go.
This
And-
is nothing to the smell of decaying flesh.
But it is the
Now
smell
that you
of
say that, though,
Although it kind of compares.
it smells. Go ahead and make a history check with advantage.
Are there dead bodies down here? 18.
It is extremely similar. to the smell of decayed.
Is it decaying animal?
You can't, due to the overwhelming nature of whatever died in here,
Decay.
where it is then built up and not really had a chance to escape. You are just overwhelmed with the sense or that smell of rotten decay that you're not able to identify any sort of type. Just that
Okay.
something
That's fair.
definitely died down in here.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna drop down then. Well, I'm gonna look, obviously, and then I'm gonna drop down, kind of like almost hop down the ladder. And then I'm going to do a quick turn around the room and just kind of like be very, very mindful and like try to see if I can find what the smell is coming from. Find the body.
Okay.
Make sure there's nothing alive down here.
So you drop down, you take a step or two, and then Phileas drops down as well. Just covering his mouth the whole time. Go ahead and make a perception check. It is dark.
I have dark vision.
Okay.
14.
14. So looking around, you're able to get a quick glance around and take into account what you actually see there. And it seems to be just a semi-standard cellar. It's got shelves that seem to have jars on either side that
Preserves.
are completely clouded over.
Ew.
Some of them are maybe just like a solid black, or there's a small mix of some colors, but most of it's just cloudy. But you see in the corner of this small area, which is only about 15 by 20 feet, but easily tall enough for both you and Phileas to stand in.
Well, it's easily tall enough for me.
You see in the corner, well, a little before the corner, what is the rotten, decayed remains of some type of what seems like a humanoid. But it has the gases within it after whatever killed this has burst, creating a very horrible scene. Next to it, and a little before that to the right, you see what seems to be the old rotten remains of a wolf as well. And then none of which is moving at all. But then in the far corner, you see this mound. And as you stepped in there, you're taking a little bit, this medium sized kind of mound just seems to almost be twitching a bit in the corner. And it's irregular, it's not like a heartbeat or anything. But as you slowly go and look at it and take a small step,
I have a knack for getting in trouble.
and you hear just the slight crunching of sand on your foot as you slowly shift your weight. You see another just kind of two twitches from the mound.
Phileas, do you have a weapon?
I did not grab the short sword from your friend, so no.
You are a dumbass. We need to GTFO.
I agree.
You go first. I can scramble up pretty quick.
Okay, I need both you and Phileas to make a stealth check.
Okay. I can do okay. Phileas, on the other hand. 16.
Oh, damn.
I have amazing stealth.
Okay.
Seeing as I rolled a 4.
Imagine having a skill over 5.
Both you and Phileas slowly and as quietly as possible start backing up. But even as you're doing it, you both hear the dirt underneath your feet just kind of slowly crunch a little bit, and as you can't help but just make a little bit of sound as you continue just taking steps back.
Be gone. Go in the room, please, ladies.
We've got little fairies.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
They're like, run away.
They saw the screen.
The fairies. We love them.
We do. We love the little fairies. They're just a very chaotic neutral right now.
Well, they are fairies.
They're truly from the Feywild.
Very much.
They are very much from the Feywild.
So I'm assuming Phileas is not very quiet.
He's not bad. He's not stumbling over everything. He got a 13 to your 16. So
Okay.
he's not bumbling on all of this. But as you're starting to go, as Phileas gets to the edge and he puts his hand back on the ladder
Oh yeah.
and he kind of looks at it and as he goes and starts pulling up, you hear this just as you hear the wood creak under the pressure of him just starting to try to get on it. And at that moment, you see this shape in the corner all of a sudden starts twitching and starts almost kind of rising up in this very odd, jerking manner.
I'm going to.
And as it starts to rise up, you watch as it takes almost a humanoid appearance. And hanging around this neck, you do see this little glint of blue. But as that blue glint kind of catches your eye just for a moment, you watch as these two yellow, like red yellowish eyes just open up and look at you. And Phileas too, as he just kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder. And that's where we're going to end the session tonight.
Oh, I was gonna scream. We could do it.
We still
We
have,
could do it. They
like-
just started watching Bolt.
We still have like 30 minutes.
I am gonna scream at the top of my lungs, war cry, not a scared scream, but like a.
No, we're going to go ahead and end it there. So we have something to look forward to next time.
Sad panda.
Encore, encore, encore. Sorry, let me just break the microphone. Damn it.
But thank you everyone for watching. We had a more chaotic night for it all, and we're ending off on a very upsetting cliffhanger. But hope you enjoyed it.
It's always you.
It is always you. If you would just stay
But
with
hey.
the damn camp. Our escapades are to die for.
Thank you again for tuning in. Hopefully you'll watch the next episode to see what happens. Take care.
Bye.